Great. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Welcome. We're Team Horizon, and what better way to start out this than to look out on the horizon? Our team focused, as you'll see, on food cooperatives as a solution to accelerating toward a zero-waste valley by 2030. On this horizon, we envision that food cooperatives create a future where each community has access to community-owned and operated food sources, that resilience and equity are built in and tangible, not just buzzwords, and that everyone enjoys a vibrant local and circular economy. Off to you, Sabita.
Yeah, so food really is of our livelihood, and our current food system is not sustainable or resilient, as we all saw last week with the issues that we had with the natural disaster and the sense of insecurity and fear that it brought to here in this valley. So we need to think more collective. We need to kind of shift from our individualistic perspective to more collective perspective and think about the entire target market or target audience for our designs. That's the residents of this valley, especially those with limited access to food, are independent and local hardworking food producers, and more than anything else, also our Mother Nature.
Yes. So in our very fast, very short research, we reached out to several folks, including some contacts at Valley First, where our teammate John works, and also Michael Buffet of Start Fresh Kitchen, as many in the community will know who he is. We also glean inspiration and understanding of cooperatives from the book Grocery Story by John Steinman, who is a former director and board president of Kootenai Co-op. And of course, the Kootenai Co-op being a huge inspiration to all of us as one of BC's most successful. We were really seeking to understand what the interest level for something like this might be, as well as gather lessons learned from past cooperative attempts in the Valley and beyond. Many here will probably remember the beloved One Big Table in Kelowna, and so we really wanted to understand how that worked and what we could learn from them. And we also identified several collaboration opportunities right here in this hackathon and right in our own several groups, as we'll talk about in the coming slides. So really, oh, next slide, Svita. Thank you. Really, our big, hairy, audacious goal is that by 2030, food co-ops will be the primary source for all of food for all of the Valley's residents. First, by identifying a space that is accessible and inclusive, and start a membership drive by March 2022. And second, by opening the door, which is, we understand, ambitious. And third, step and repeat, because really, ultimately, what we want is to have this be something that is itself sustainable across communities, not just having one spot, but having really several throughout the Valley. Next slide, I'll pass it back to you, Sabita.
Awesome, thank you. So here is what we're asking for. As Ryan mentioned, this is about step and repeating, but we want to start small first. So we would like to find the first location of our storefront for a co-op that would like to design. This would be the starting point, but we also know that we really need a lot of community support to create the connections that are needed with the farmers, with the local community, with the investors and people who are willing to put their support in for in-kind support, to get us going for this first, till the idea becomes more sustainable and I guess self-sustaining. We know that we would need some staff to get things going, from kind of getting the logistics and the legalities of this concept going, to actually getting the doors open to the storefront. And in return, the return on investment for this is that we bring food resiliency to our valley. That we, by being more local and creating everything here, we would eliminate all the food packaging that is creating waste for us. We eliminate a lot of the embodied carbon in the food that ships here to our valley from as far as Chile and Mexico. With this investment, we will create a vibrant local economy and really a stronger community, a stronger sense of community. We will increase and improve the physical and mental health. People are going to rely more on local, natural food sources as opposed to processed foods, and all of that together will bring the resiliency that we need for our valley. Yeah, so thank you for listening to us. Thank you for having us share our ideas with you, and I'd like to thank all four of our for this work, and would love to hear your feedback.
Sure, maybe I'll lead that off. So fantastic topic, and so apropos to the challenges we're facing today, especially when you start seeing our access that's being restricted from the sources of our market. I think, one of the challenges we always face with these types of topics is fiscal sustainability, cost of goods, and how do you compete against the big box stores, things like that. So I think it all starts with the discussion. It starts with intent, and no matter how big the issue, there's a way of us to tackle that challenge. And sometimes it's also, embracing who we do have already in the Okanagan. And and although sometimes the big stores, we often look at them as, oh my goodness, there are competitors. Sometimes they have a lot of philanthropic opportunity to also assist with this type of thing. Matt, I don't know if you had any comments.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think the other side to it, and I think some of why some of these other who have tried, to start and be successful here is they've just strictly struggled to kind of make the money they needed to keep their own doors open and sustain their own personal families, right? So I think trying to find that angle where, those kind of co-op operators, while it's a membership driven, initiative, can sustain themselves to really spearhead it for the community as a whole will be the bigger challenge here in the long run. So, but it's a great idea. I supported the Big One table when it was open. Obviously sad to see it go when it did. But yeah, I love the idea. Certainly do.